Hey Gemini, happy March 2018. This is Dark Dove Tarot. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I pre-shuffled. I'm going to go ahead and add a little more energy before we get started, and then we'll get moving. So again, hope you're doing fantastic. This is for Gemini singles and anybody potentially looking to reconcile. I focus mainly on singles just because those tend to be the people who reach out to me for private reads, have questions, comment, etc. Any, comments you have, likes, subscribes are greatly appreciated. It's always nice to know, what you'd like to see more of, less of, etc. So I am shortening the reads. It's probably going to be between 20 and 30 minutes from here on out. It just makes it easier for me to get all the reads out in a timely manner. Set these over here. Again, any comments, likes, subscribes, always appreciate it. If you wanted a private read, the information is in the description below. So let's get started here. This is general. Check your sun, moon, and rising. Some months those may resonate with you more than others. Let's see what we have in store for Gemini. Let me pull your theme of the month card and we'll get started. Oh, not popped out, and you have the world. So that's a beautiful theme of the month card. That's an open road. That's you being able to do anything you want, go anywhere you want. It's fulfillment, it's accomplishment, it's belonging. This is also first completion. So if you're single, it may be that this month is a month you're going to find somebody that you're going to move on to the next step with. So if your end goal is to meet somebody to date exclusively, or if you're looking for a partner that you could eventually marry, etc., this definitely says you could complete finding that person, or it may, this may be the month that brings this into your life. So the world is a fantastic card. It's also the end of the major arcana, meaning a new cycle is coming through. So if you're single, that definitely tells me something new is coming into play here. Hopefully a potential suitor. This is accomplishing something, feeling a sense of fulfillment and belonging. So again, that kind of coupled nature of feeling like you belong with somebody, or finding a partner that feels like they could be a potential suitor for the long haul, if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to reconcile, this is saying, you may need to go on the path less traveled. This may be first completion. It could go two ways at this point, right? It could be new communication with that person, new, wavelengths of talking, whether it's just texting, maybe somebody's reaching out, maybe you're reaching out. But I'm kind of feeling like, Gemini, this may be a bigger picture here. This may be a first completion of dropping negative energy and finding something new, going on your own path to really, accomplish what you would want to accomplish. And it's kind of like, if this person wants to be a part of it, there's going to have to be some serious changes. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month of March, and you have the Nine of Wands. Very positive card. This is saying, look, you have, stamina. You're very capable right now. You're coming into the month very strong. So that's good. I just picture kind of like a little engine that could type of scenario. You're coming in just, going, the momentum's just growing and growing and growing. So if you're single, this is you feeling like, I can do this. I can really meet somebody. If you have met somebody, or if you met a few people, this feels like there will just be a forward momentum. You'll be picking up the pace. Maybe things will be moving a little faster. But this definitely says, look, you're not afraid to take risks or chances right now. You may be trying online dating if it's something you've never tried. Or you may be doing something completely, out of the ordinary. Maybe you're, just walking up to people and having conversations and trying different things. But this definitely says you're very capable of forming bonds this month and finding somebody to have a strong connection with. And you're just kind of coming into the month like, let's go, let's do this, bring it. So that's really positive. If you're looking to reconcile, this is something saying, look, you're strong enough for it to go either way. If it's meant to be, then it'll be, and you'll be more than capable of, reconnecting with this person. If it's not, you're very strong and able to move on. And I really hate to say it because everybody's signs of it different. I've had a lot that have shown that, reconciliation does not look positive, and then some that it has, and some that are 50-50. But for some reason, Gemini, yours is coming out, the energy from this is coming on more like capable on your own. So maybe you've needed to drop some dead weight and you've been nervous about it, and you're feeling like, I've got this, I can do this, I can, I can make this climb. I've got the stamina to see this head on. All right. The next card you have is anything you're feeling internally coming into the month. and you have the Sun, which is beautiful. This is hope, inspiration. It's about self-awareness, self-esteem. It's about feeling good in general. So if you're single, the Sun says you can see the bigger picture. You can see that world ahead of you. You can see what the world has to offer, and it's yours for the taking. And you get it, and you're feeling like a go-getter coming in with the Nine of Wands. You're feeling like you could really make something happen. It's also about clear-sighted, so seeing the bigger picture. This says that Gemini, you're coming in with a clear sight on what you're wanting to accomplish relationship-wise. For some people, it is marriage and kids and whatever else. And for some people, you just want somebody for the long haul to commit to have a good time with, share adventures, share trips, share, you know, new food, etc. This says, you know, but there's also a very big part of self-awareness. So somewhere along the line here, Gemini, you're growing. You've become more and more capable, like the 9 says, and you're seeing a whole new you. It feels like some of you have been really working on yourselves. You may just be back into dating for the first time again, or you may just finally feel some sort of self-confidence that you've needed for a long time to know that you deserve a really good partner, a really good outcome in your love life. The Sun, if you're looking to reconcile, this is very positive. So it's kind of contradictory to what I was saying here as far as feeling capable on your own. The Sun is solutions. So for a lot of you, you're feeling like if there has been some communication, which was the first completion of the world, there was some sort of, you guys had to turn a new leaf or really communicate or have a conversation or get some closure in order to move on. This is saying you could possibly move on together if you guys can come up with the right solutions. Now, again, there is this clear-sightedness of the Sun that says, look, you know, you may have the hope in your heart, you guys can do it. For some of you, it feels like you could take it or leave it. I know that sounds weird, but more like you're going to continue on your path. You're going to continue doing what you need to do. And if they can come back in and you guys can be successful, then there's hope here if you can find a solution. If not, then you're seeing what your future has in store without that person. So it feels like just because this energy is so strong that, not that you could take it or leave it, I guess that's not the right way of saying it, but yeah, I mean, you're not going to be rendered stiff and shaken up if it doesn't work. But if there's a chance there and the opportunity precedes itself, then you will take the chance and there's a possibility it could work out. The next card you have is your distant past. Over the past 5-10 years, could go back to childhood, and you have the Tower. The Tower is always a pretty, not always negative card, but in this spot, it's definitely, this is destruction of relationship. I always read this together whether you're single or looking to reconcile, because this card is generally not the person you're wanting to reconcile with, although sometimes it is, but majority of you, it's not. The Tower is about betrayal, dissolution, revelation. So for a lot of you, whether you're single or looking to reconcile, at some point you had a betrayal in a marriage, a betrayal in, or you watched your parents go through, you know, a parent committed adultery. There's a lot that could go into this. I don't have to name it, but these are things that tore you down and you had to build your foundation back up. Maybe you watched your entire family completely destroyed by some sort of secret or some sort of deceit. It could even be financial issues. I see some people like in jail because of like laundering money or different things. It could be your relationship ended because something complete, like you had no idea what was going on. They'd been cheating for years, or they'd been stealing from a company they worked for, something there, or you watched your parents, or maybe your entire foundation of your family, you know, from grandparents up, was destroyed by some sort of secret here. So there's definitely destruction, and it was painful. And for some of you, you were in the thick of it. It was like a parent had been cheating for years and left another parent, and, you know, siblings were split up, and it was pretty devastating. And so you've built your foundation back up, but for a lot of you, along with that foundation, you've built a wall. And this is saying this month, let that wall down, let that guard down, know that you're capable of giving and receiving love. Whether it's just meeting somebody incredible who's a good person and you'll get to love eventually, you're in this position where you're like, you know that you can handle it. You're in a good space this month. You're going to be in a good headspace, a place where you feel deserving and giving at the same time. The next card you have is your immediate past, or the past few weeks, past month or so, and you have the Fool. And the Fool is well, it's very interesting because right here you have the ending of the major arcana, the major, you know, this is the ending of the cycle, and here you have the beginning. So somewhere something happened here, and maybe you've been moping around, you haven't been wanting to date, you've been dating the wrong kind of people, something encouraged you to take a step in a new direction. And the Fool saying over the past few weeks, past month or so, you've been working on that. It could just be working on building this self-confidence, or working up to building on even wanting to go online, because, you know, some of you were like, well, I have to start somewhere, and I've heard horror stories, but what am I going to do? And the Fool's saying you can handle anything. The Fool's a beautiful card because this is a card that symbolizes fearlessness and coming out and seeing potential, but also doing it innocently. So definitely there are a lot of you, if you're single, that have not been going online at all. You've been kind of like, I'm going to do other things. I'm going to focus on other things. I'm going to get my ducks in a row so that when I'm ready to date, I'm like the complete and total package. Some of you have been working out, starting diet plans, you know, or just working on saving money, building your credit, etc. And the Fool says, okay, you've been working to this point, and now we're coming into March, like, boom, you know, big things are coming. A lot of people have been talking about the retrograde, and that doesn't mean that bad things have to happen. Everybody just assumes that because of the retrograde, bad things are going to happen. But I've been through retrogrades where I've had amazing things happen. So it's very interesting. I think Cancer got this, I got the Fool and the Sun in their read. So maybe you're dealing with a Cancer too. But the Fool is an excellent place to be if you're dating, because there's potential here for finding a really good partner, regardless of what you're looking for. If you're looking to reconcile, this is starting over. This is a new beginning, but being fearless about it, but it's innocent. So right now I'm feeling very torn, Gemini. For some of you, I feel like there is hope here, but I strongly believe you're getting your ducks in a row just to personally be a better person. And because there was some hard times in the past relationship, and there were some things that you needed to work on and they needed to work on, and I feel like you've gone full strength in working on what you needed to work on. And even if it was, you know, trust issues, or for some of you, I feel like, yes, I'm sure I'm going to get emails and comments that, you know, they cheated and they were horrible and they were liars, or maybe they're feeling that way about you. But this doesn't feel like it was something so tragic that you can't redeem from it. It feels like you have to be okay whether you're alone or whether you're with this person. Maybe a lot of codependency, because this doesn't feel like you're sitting here going, oh, that bastard, he cheated. And this feels more like we need to get our shit together before we figure out if this is a good idea to get back together. The next card you have is your distant future. So the next 5-10 years. 5-10 years, I'm sorry, that's actually for the distant past. This is over the next 2 to 3 months. So this is your distant future, and you have the 8 of Wands. This is saying something's coming really quick. Now, you could be getting news from afar, which is really seems to be a theme. I think it was Capricorn and Cancer that got very similar, where it's like somebody could be coming back. Somebody could be contacting you back. Cancer's was crazy. Because they seem to have a lot of people who are contacting them, even just old friends, old relatives, etc. But this could be the same for you, Gemini. This is saying somebody's bringing news from afar. It could be an old family member. It could be an old lover. It could be... So if you're single, there's definitely potential for somebody to come back into the picture, or somebody who knows you're single and they're going, hey, how's it going? Whether or not that's going to be a good thing for you, obviously time will tell, and that's something you'll have to determine. However, the 8 of Wands is quick. It's something happening fast. It's movement. It's not forced. It's something happening fast. So I feel like either you've met somebody or you're going to be meeting somebody, and it's going to start this new cycle for you, and you're going to move quickly. I don't know if it's going to be just you're going to be dating exclusively, because like I said, you have the World, and that's about first completion. So maybe you've been dating for a while. Some of you haven't been dating for a while, but you jump back on, and now you've met somebody, and it's like, hey, you just hit it off, and things are going to go very quickly. So something is coming in, Gemini, that's going to move you towards whatever this goal is that you want. And again, you may have met that person and you could see big potential in them because of the Sun. So if you're looking to reconcile, this is definitely somebody contacting you. So whether they've contacted you or you're going to be contacting them, there's some sort of line of communication that's going to be opening here. And again, this will also be fast and quick for you too, because the 8 is all about momentum. building. It's very interesting. You have 2 fire cards here. So you could be dealing with Leo, Sag, or Aries, but you have 2 fire signs in your current position and in your future that kind of correspond, because this is stamina, moving, and this is also moving. So you're going to be moving into something, a different position. Again, it could be just dating exclusively, it could just be dating period, or it could be meeting somebody that you guys move pretty quickly into the next phase, whatever that is for each of you. The next, if you're looking to reconcile, like I said, it's the same thing. It's news coming in, so it's some sort of communication, and it's coming fast, but I already said that, so sorry, I won't repeat myself. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next 2 weeks, next month, typically throughout March, could carry over into April, and you have the Queen of Cups. So this is otherness, this is mystery, this is something bigger at play here. And I actually really love this, because look, they're looking at each other, and this is somebody moving fast, and this is like mystery that you didn't see coming. So I really feel like if you're single, there's somebody coming in, and it may be somebody from the past, maybe somebody you've been thinking about a lot, maybe they've been thinking about you, maybe you guys have been in contact before, but you never did anything about it because you were in a relationship or they were in a relationship, and somehow you guys have gotten word that, hey, you're single or they're single, there's something going on here that definitely says, hey, and they're looking at each other, which I find very interesting. So maybe this queen is like, look, here I am, like, this is some sort of spiritual higher power at play here. So whether it's the universe, God, whatever you believe in, this is saying something's coming, and it's not anything you could plan. It's not anything that you could have made happen. Somebody else is controlling it. Somebody else is driving the wheel, and they're staring at each other, and this person's saying, let's go, let's do this. And you're like, wow, that's quick, but okay, let's do this. So I really feel like if you haven't met somebody, or if you just started dating again, or if you've been in a lull, something's coming, and it's going to move fast. And again, it's going to move you into this feeling of belonging. So really positive here, Gemini. And I think it's so interesting that they're staring at each other, and one's like, let's do this, let's get ready to go. And the other one's like, hello, I like you, I'm making you an offer. So very, very interesting. And I feel like for some of you, it's somebody who's been watching. Like, maybe you just broke up with somebody last year, and then they kind of were like, well, I don't want to be the rebound, so I'm going to wait a couple months, but I heard he or she is single now. I'm going to wait it out. Like, they've been watching your Facebook page, nothing creepy stalkery, but like they've known that you're single, and they kind of feel like now's the time to come in. So very interesting. I've had 2 other signs get that, and I very rarely get from a read that somebody's coming back. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, the queen is otherness and spirituality in the way that I really think if you're looking to reconcile, again, you are in a place of allowing the universe to let destiny take its course. And I feel like with the queen, you're still doing that. Yes, they may come back, and yes, you guys may move fast into something, like pick up where you left off really quick. I just don't know. I feel like for some of you, you're waiting for something. Like you're waiting for, I don't know, maybe even a proposal or something. Like maybe that's why you guys split, because you've been together for years, and you know, he or she did not want to move to the next step, and you were just tired. And it may be that they're going to come in and give you exactly what you want, and that's going to be that quickness that comes in. They're definitely for both signs, for both statuses, whether you're single or looking to reconcile. There's something bigger than yourself at play here, which I always love that, because that's beautiful, because then it makes me feel like it's divine timing or something that's really meant to be. And it's interesting, I say this sometimes in reads, but I remember my mother telling me a long time ago, when things are meant to be, a lot of times they happen fast. And that's happened with jobs. Like if I needed to change jobs, or if I was looking to advance in my career, it always happened fast. So some people get edgy. They're like, well, if I meet somebody, we should date for 6 months, and then we should do. But sometimes life is too short, and there shouldn't be any timeline. Your heart should really be what's directing you in the best place to go, or the best place to be. The next card you have is anything tangible throughout the month. Could be in the beginning, middle, end, for 1 day, 5 minutes, etc. This is something you can, physically see or experience, and you have the 5 of coins. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Gemini, the 5 of coins, 5 of pentacles is somebody, well, it definitely has to do with money. But I'm going to caution you here with this 5 of coins. There's some sort of sneakiness here. Okay, so if you're single, pay attention to red flags. Pay attention to things people are saying. Pay attention to how they're talking about their job. Pay attention to how long they've been at their job. I don't think it's going to last very long. But as you're dating, something's going to come along, or somebody is going to come along. And I really get it's like a friend. And it's very interesting because I did a private read for somebody and she got this card. And that makes me think, and it was a similar situation, but somebody's going to take advantage. And I hate to say this, I'm pulling it out of the realm of love because I'm not feeling like this is necessarily somebody who wants to meet you. But Gemini, if you have a family member that you care about or a friend that you care about and they're needing money or something, there's a good chance if you give them that money, you will not see it again. There's some sort of loss here, but it's more of a financial. Now, it could be if you're single and maybe let's say this person is purse. That's okay. So I'm going to stick with the money theme because that just popped out of my mouth. So there's something here that's not pertaining to this as love where you need to watch yourself. If you're signing contracts, again, somebody, and it could be that you meet people and you're starting to date and you start to notice that this person is always expecting you to pay, or they never have money, or so just be careful. This is kind of off the subject again of the romance, but there's definitely somebody here who's being a little sneaky. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, this is the same thing. Maybe you spend all this time getting your crap together, and crap, I don't want to say crap, but we all have our crap, right? But maybe you've been spending all this time getting yourself together and getting, again, debt paid off or whatever. But there's a possibility this person has not. So be very careful with that too. And totally off the subject, this could just have to do with taxes because I know a lot of people are getting tax returns right now. So just be careful about how you spend that money or who you give it to or who you help out. And again, if you're reconciling, make sure that this person is coming back for all the right reasons. Or if you're the one contacting them, that you're going back and you can tell whether they're genuinely excited or whether if there's some sort of manipulation they're working on you. Okay. The next card you have, and I might clarify that in a minute. The next card you have is the Hanged Man. And this is how you're going to be feeling internally. And this is about sacrifice, putting yourself out there. I think this goes very well here for singles because I feel like there might be a situation that presents itself to you. A person coming in saying, hey, I really like you. I think we should do this. I don't want to be online anymore. You know, let's both get offline. Let's do this. And you're going, whoa, we may be moving kind of fast. But the Hanged Man is saying, look, if you know yourself well enough, and you're wise and you understand the difference between somebody being genuine or not being genuine, and you've been through a lot of things and you can read the red flags, why not go for it? Put yourself out there. This Hanged Man is saying, look, I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to sacrifice something. Like if you're staunch on, we have to date for this amount of time and we can't, you know, we can't do this until this time, or, you know, like this is saying, like, kind of throw out what the rules you've lived by. Don't do anything dumb or put yourself in a situation that's going to be negative in the long run. But if there's no reason not to like commit after a couple weeks, or, and again, you're not committing to marriage or whatever, but if you're saying, hey, if they come to you and say, hey, let's get offline, let's just be one-on-one, I mean, try it out. The Hanged Man is saying, you know, you're ready for that. It's almost like this is what you've been asking the universe for. Now it's presenting itself to you and you're going, whoa, 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 whoa. So just remember that. If you're getting what you've been asking for, go with it. If you're looking to reconcile, this is definitely a sacrifice as well. But this is being very self-aware. So this kind of goes along with this a little bit because this feels like if you feel like you're sacrificing something, money, career, if you feel like you're heading back into a negative space with this person, or if you feel like you're the one who's made changes and you're the one who's made a difference and you're the one who's going to put the effort into it and they've shown that they've done nothing to change, or they haven't really taken it seriously as to what were the issues were between you guys, then you may have to rethink whether it's going to be something you want to do. But you have all these cards that are positive and showing you'll be fine if it doesn't go the way you want it to. The next card you have is any hopes or fears for the outcome of the month, and you have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is, if you're single, well, overall, the Page of Cups is somebody who's looking back, somebody who's feeling very nostalgic, somebody who's remembering good times. So if you're single, this is you reminiscing on a time when you remember having a good relationship, and what was good about it, and what were the positive and healthy things in the relationship. It's very interesting. These kind of tie together because this card is about innocence. Both of these, you could look up like textbook tarot definitions and they would both symbolize innocence. So there's some time in your life where maybe your innocence was taken. I don't want to be harsh. It could be abuse. It could have been whatnot. And you've had a long journey with that. And this page is saying, look, I am in a really good space now. Now, it could even be that this was, you know, these things that happen between parents or in marriages of your own, etc., really felt like it stole your innocence. And it's like you've gotten it back here. You're just in a really positive place. You're just in a really good, and you're feeling very emotional, which Geminis, it's not that you're not emotional, but you're definitely not like a water sign. A lot of times you keep your emotion in check because Geminis are very good at business. They're very good at refining things. They're very good at being, you know, determined and kind of on a deadline or schedule. And the Page of Cups is saying, look, you can slow your roll a little bit. You can enjoy life. If you're meeting people and you're single, this is saying, don't let these things, you know, don't let this take control of you. Don't let that tower, that wall that you've built, start breaking that down a bit. Start remembering happier times in life. Happier time. Start remembering a grandparents' relationship who loved each other for 60 years and what did they put into it versus, you know, my parents had a horrible marriage. There was whatever it is for you. Start breaking the wall down brick by brick by brick. And I had to tell Scorpio the same thing because Scorpio, I mean, they get burned once and that wall goes straight back up with like extra cement. If you're looking to reconcile, this is you having to remember the good times in that relationship, but then remembering, can you go back to those good times? Is there a way to get back to that place? Is there a way to rebuild that connection with that person, that positive energy? If you go back and think about all the good times, but then remember the negative times and you just don't know that you could get past that, maybe there is trust issues, maybe there's lying, there were other things involved. If you can't go back to this happy place without remembering that negative energy or without it making you start to feel that slump again, then it may be something you want to rethink about even attempting to get back in contact or if they contact you. The next card you have is your outcome for the month of March, and you have the Chariot. So very interesting. That's Cancer's card. So you may be dealing with Cancer, and I told you Cancer about this card and this card. And so you may be dealing with a Cancer or a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. But the Chariot is about ID. It's about self-ID. It's about knowing who you are. A lot of self-preservation here. I mean, there just is a lot. Like I said, you know how capable you are. You've been figuring it out lately. You're coming in this month kind of, you know, on fire. And the Chariot's saying, like, continue with that. You know what you want. Go for what you want. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. The Chariot is also about balance, and it's about self-control, which Gemini are very good at balancing life. You know, they have a very good work-life balance for the most part. Everybody gets out of sorts, right? We can all, nobody's perfect at anything 100%, right? But the Chariot's saying, look, you're moving in the right direction, so continue. Now, this is the Chariot. So in this deck, the Raven Prophecy versus Deviant Moon that I'm using, this in this deck, there's two dragons, right? And as long as they're moving in the same direction, they can move forward. And if they're not, and they're moving in opposite directions, then the Chariot stands still. And I think that's very pertinent here because I feel like this person who's coming in, it's either going to feel like you guys could move off and shoot for the moon and head in the same directions, or you won't, and you'll know immediately that it's stagnant. But I think if you guys have the same goals in mind, the same things you want to do, I think it's very positive this Chariot could move for a long time down this road. And I think that for some of you, you will be having this first completion of, even if it's just dating exclusively. But again, if somebody's coming back from the past, you guys might move along really quick. And it may have been, like I said, at some point you thought about them, but then you found out they were married or they were with somebody. And then at some point same thing, they thought about you, but they found out you were married. And the Chariot may just be showing up to say, all right, we're both on the same path. We're both single. Let's get you on up out of here. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, this is saying very similar to what I just said for the singles. This is about balancing things out. And it's also about self-belief. So if you, in duality, there's a big source of duality in the Chariot card. So this is saying, look, if you guys can get back on the same page and get to where you were when things were happy and you guys had goals and you wanted to be together, then great, then do it. But if you can't, you need to recognize that within yourself and realize that maybe you were very codependent and maybe you're finally coming into your own skin and, oh, that's crazy. Maybe you're coming into your own skin and you're okay moving on your own. Now, I clarified your outcome with the Ace of Wands, which is very powerful. You have a lot of fire energy here. So, because you had it, right? No, yeah, that's your fire energy. I thought there was another one. But you do have it here, which is, don't you think that's a little interesting? That's the same card right there. So there may be a theme in 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, the 8th of the month, etc., because you have 2 8s and it's the same card. But the Ace of Wands here is a beautiful energy. And again, it's fire energy. So you could be dealing with a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. But the Ace of Wands is a very powerful card. This is somebody who is very creative, passionate. You have a lot of enthusiasm. So it coincides with the beginning here and how you came into the month and how you're leaving the month. You're going to feel just as passionate leaving the month as you did coming into the month. It's like this passion that you have for yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that you have this stamina and you're more than capable of a lot. And the Ace is just fueling that fire, saying you are more than capable. You have a lot to offer in a relationship and just in life in general. And for the first time, you actually feel it. And so you're putting that energy out into the universe. The Ace of Wands is just ultimately passion. And I think you're going to be feeling this passion and feeling this enthusiasm about somebody that you're going to meet. Whether it's somebody who comes back in or whether it's somebody you meet organically, you're going to be feeling a very high amount of energy in this situation. If you're looking to reconcile, I'm having the hardest time with your reading this month as far as that's concerned, because it's up and down and up and down and up and down. 1 minute it's like, yes, I think it's really possible. And then the next minute you're pulling the 5 and I'm thinking, they may be manipulating the situation here. The Ace of Wands, though, is saying whichever way you go, you're going to put your all into it. So whether reconciliation is good for you and it is a positive move, you're going to put all your energy into making it work. If it's not a good move for you, you're fine, because you're passionate about partnerships and about building those connections that you're going to be able to move past it without having a problem. So the best thing I'm pulling here at Gemini is that you're going to be okay no matter what. And I feel that's the most positive message you could get, because once upon a time, we all get in relationships where we can't feel that, where we feel numb and we feel like we can never move on, and you're just not there. You're in a much better headspace. Now, your clarifier for the distant future is the 8 of Wands, the exact same card. So message coming from afar. Again, somebody who maybe has been watching that you're single now and giving you a little space, and now they're going to come in and come in quick. Or you're meeting somebody brand new and they're coming in and coming. I love this queen. They're looking at each other because this queen is like, again, just a much more spiritual aspect to this. Like it was meant to be, it's divine timing, etc. And it's very similar to, I said divine timing a lot in Cancer's read too. So I just can't, and Cancer showed up here, so I just can't get over the fact that I think for some of you it's Cancer coming in, or it's Cancer that you knew from before. But definitely very good. Or again, it could be a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. The 8 of Wands, if you're looking to reconcile, the same thing. It's either going to move, you're going to put all your energy into it, and it's going to happen fast, and you guys will pick up where you left off, or you're going to break away, and move on to new beginnings. I mean, you have the World, the ending of the cycle, and the Fool, the beginning. So really, at this point, Gemini, anything is possible for you. All right, I hope you guys have a fantastic March.